I started my YouTube channel nearly 2 decades ago when I was just a teenager. I had a sizable following by early 2010s due to my music as both a writer and performer. I had another significant jump in the early to mid 2010s due to political and social commentary. By 2015, I was a full-time commentator. My band was also touring and charting on Billboard with our first album, and it was difficult to juggle all of this because during this time, I researched, recorded, and edited my videos. From about 2017 to 2021, I was commentating and YouTubing full time. Music had taken a back seat, and though it was a very lucrative era for me, this was the time I was least creative. That's because I didn't have the time to really do it. I was streaming 5 to 7 times a week for hours on end, gaming, talking comics, or doing a political show. Still, with all of that previous success, the Rippaverse blows everything else out of the water. I believe that this is God really telling me that I was put on this earth to create original content. He showered me with these blessings, and the Rippaverse is far bigger than just me, as it employs and contracts dozens in addition to the tens of thousands of fans that are again fans of the Rippaverse. I had a decision to make. I could take this seriously and put forth my best effort, or I can treat it as a hobby and stick to YouTubing. It was an easy decision for me to pick the former, but I was aware of the consequences. It was the best thing to do for the business, but the worst thing to do for the channel. I had to also adjust to become a better professional, and it was all worth it. Now, I think we have a decent setup here. I have my weekly show with Az, Ripping a Silverback, where we can talk about non-Rippaverse related things. That's my outlet. I spend a portion of about 1 day a week doing videos that my team edits and uploads for my channels, and of course I appear on various podcasts and shows from time to time. But most of my time is spent doing something pertaining to the Rippaverse. There's always something to do, and you simply cannot be both a full-time streamer and a productive comic book publisher. Make no mistake, I'm totally aware of the ankle-biting YouTubers that are hell-bent on trying to destroy me and the company. There are countless amount of lies and just fake narratives that are out there, and they're great for engagement and their super chats. Some were once creators that have now crossed into full-time YouTubing. They found it far easier and lucrative to gossip like schoolgirls and attempt to defame me instead of creating original content. But responding to it and going back to YouTubing is a colossal waste of my time because that doesn't help the Rippaverse. So their attempts to drag me into being as unproductive as they are, participating in this internet blood sport, that's not something that's conducive to where we want to be. So let them fight their imaginary one-sided war because I have no enemies. Every week there are people that are confused as to what I did to make these people so mad and obsessed, and it's as nonsensical as it sounds. It's always awesome to see some of the new fans that are led to us after they've come to that realization that we're not so bad. All I'm guilty of is really being ambitious and creating a comic book company that delivers and apparently getting success that they feel that I don't deserve. I'm under no delusion that they can be stopped. I don't ignore them to make them go away. You can't ignore them away. I ignore them because writing, editing, and running the company and interacting with my fans is a better use of my time. We burst on a scene which put a spotlight on us, and I don't mind being the most criticized man in comics. These folks will critique my every public move, and when they run out of content, they'll just grab some old material, even if it's from years ago, and pretend to be upset with that. That said, there are those that are more full-time commentators in YouTube that go out of their way to correct the record, and we see and appreciate you all. Look, many just want to return to fun and entertainment. Doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're on, people will get sour when they see us having a blast. It shouldn't be like that, and they should join in on the fun, but oh well. I'm blessed and thankful that people wanted to make the Rippaverse a go-to form of entertainment. Again, I take this very seriously and will put in the work to grow and improve. The Rippaverse isn't going to be for everybody, and people are free to their opinions. But I also recognize that businessman and creator Eric July is not something that everybody wants. Some follow me strictly due to my insight on politics or mainstream comics, and I'm asked every day about how I feel about the latest Marvel or DC thing. Why am I not doing reviews? I could be making a killing doing this, and some people may even walk away from the channel altogether. I totally understand, and I do not knock anybody that is uninterested in me focusing on my original content. There's nothing wrong with that. There are much better options out there offering commentary content, streams, and thorough reviews like my man's Gary from Neurotic and the G&G team, or Critical Drinker, or my co-host As. Some people will always see or want to see me as a YouTuber, but that's simply not the case anymore. I own and operate a multi-million-dollar comic book business. This is a dream come true, and it requires a lot of work, especially because I'm really involved in the creative process. It would have been impossible for me to maintain this without scaling back on other things. This isn't some small-scale, one-off project. The Rippaverse is a full-fledged publisher and will continue to move in that direction. We also have Rippaverse, which takes on creator-owned content. So I hope that people can understand or empathize with what I'm trying to do here. As you've seen with the recent Rippaverse showcase, we're not playing around. We have big aspirations, and books don't make themselves. I'll pop in every now and then with some sort of short content, but don't be surprised if even that eventually phases out. It's all about the Rippaverse, and I'd be a very irresponsible business owner if I spent most of my time focusing on everybody else's work instead of my own.